All right, you guys, happy Taco Tuesday. I know I mentioned before that I'm going to be introducing a new taco recipe every Taco Tuesday or some type of Mexican cuisine. And I have been craving, I think it's been this talk about eggs that really ignited this or prompted me to go and find a recipe for this. But you guys, eggs and chorizo have been my jam for, I haven't made them in a long time because I haven't had chorizo on the traditional meat or pork based chorizo. So I've been really craving this dish, but now I've also eliminated eggs from my diet. So you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? All right. And one thing that I think I find extremely helpful in transitioning and staying consistent with this plant-based diet is finding some things that really just hit home and are great reminders of when you grew up or, some of your favorite dishes, just making them plant-based. All right. So today I'm making potatoes and chorizo tacos. This can also just be eaten plain, like has on, as a bowl. But since it's Taco Tuesday, we're throwing them on some tacos. This is going to require some more steps than I'm used to actually taking. So we're going to see how this goes, all right? And I'm hoping to make some bomb as chorizo tacos today. All right, so very first thing is that you're going to need one block of tofu. And I know there's some people out there like that just their eyes go big and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't, chorizo's or tofu's nasty. And I'm not gonna lie, like I at first, when I was heavily on like animal product, did not dig tofu. Like there's no way I would have ever ordered anything that's tofu. And I think to this day, you guys, I still don't like huge blocks of tofu. Like I see people cooking it that way and that's just not my jam. Like I think Pete, neither you, right? Like we don't want to have like a big slab of like tofu on a sandwich and that does not sound good to me. So I usually cut it very finely and today it's going to be more of a crumbled meat consistency, all right? So if you can kind of put in that perspective, all right? So keep your mind open to using tofu. So you're gonna need one block. I put it in between plates and you're gonna have it here sitting like prepping for 30 minutes, all right? You wanna be able, tofu comes with a lot of water and you can tell, like some of them are a little more drained than others. Depending, I like certain brands that seem like there's not a ton of water in this, but you want this drained. And the reason why you don't want a ton of water in your tofu is because you want it not make it that rubbery, nasty consistency that a lot of you are raising your hands and don't like, all right? So we want to make sure that we start to drain this water about 30 minutes, put it between two plates and set a can. Sometimes I set a napkin underneath it just to drain and help keep the water together a little bit better than it just sitting in it, but it's fine. All right, so I've been doing that for a little bit. From there, I'm going to heat up my saucepan of water and I'm going to put my chilies in there. All right, let's talk about my chilies. All right, so I have, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I can't even pronounce these. All right, I don't even know, right? But I got, these are the three chilies, right? Like you really need these these are the requirements. And I have never, ever, ever really used chilies like this before. This is a first time for me. But I remember growing up and my grandmother using this and my mom using some of this. And my mom's not Mexican, by the way, but she, when we would make homemade tamales and do different things, I remember these chilies being around and me growing up with this in San Diego. So I picked these up at Horrocks, about $2 a bag. If you really know where to go and get these, you want to hit up your local authentic Mexican tailor type of supermarkets though. All right, so Pete, if you can just get a video of like what those chilies are. Cool. So it says I need 6 of these big bad boys. I'm gonna open them up. There's one. Oh shoot. And I don't know, but you want to be careful when you're working with these because I don't know how hot these seeds are, but I'm going to remove the stems. Some of them are already removed, and I'm going to remove the seeds as well. So we're going to remove the seeds and stems because I imagine if you kept the seeds, you'd have some pretty dang hot chorizo. All right, that looks fine. So I need 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I need 2 of these. Ancho, chili de ancho. They smell really good. Really good, actually. Smell that. And then it says I need 4 of these a blow. I have no idea. And I don't know, like, these look really small to me. And I thought, like, oh, is it only just these? But I don't know if they're supposed to be bigger. I may just throw a couple extra in there because I don't really know. I mean, seriously, I think, like, they're supposed to be bigger, but who knows? I imagine no. I mean, like, oh shit, they could be really hot though, and you don't want to add too many of those bad boys. Like, theirs look bigger, and so I'm thinking like I need more. I think I need bigger ones. Theirs look bigger. I don't know how these are so little. So did I say 2 of these or 4? I think I said 4. Yeah. They just don't look that big in her picture. And I think that's one good thing that we're learning together. Like, you know, I don't really know. So we're going to kind of just do this. I think it's going to be hard and difficult to de-seed those, but, you know, what you going to do, you know? So I'm going to take off this. And you guys, I've never done this before. It's like, what the heck? It's like, I can hear the seeds. I feel like you definitely don't want that heavy, that hot. Okay, there's one. You want to make sure you definitely wash your hands after this. Do not rub the eyeballs. It's like gets you every single time. It's like your eyes you never rub your eyes until you touch some seeds from a chili. Wow. And this is really like I heard like this is kind of like a labor of love. It's why my mom never that's why making tamales was like so much work. Like when they're done right, they take time. It's probably because they were doing this or something. I will come up with my own tamale recipe. Plant-based ones.
Yeah, dude, that'd be amazing.
What? Tamales?
Yeah. So these seeds, we're just throwing them out?
Yeah. Typically, we don't eat, you know, like, There's going to be a couple that I'm not going to get it perfect. So if you don't get it perfect, don't worry about it. Somebody's just I don't know how spicy these are. They seem like they're probably spicy. These are from Mexico. Ooh, this is a big chili. This is going to be a lot of video editing. If you don't have to get all the chilies if you don't want to get them all.
Yeah, but I can speed it up. That way it's...
And I would like to get these on the timer more, you know, like, because I think giving people a realistic, like, you know, like this is going to take from start to finish about this amount of time. So they're like, oh, shit, not going to do that one. You know what I mean?
If you had help, though. Or if this was already
Well, I think
done.
that, and I don't know how, like, like these chilies, these little ones, I feel like they should have been a little bit, like, this is really what they called for, but I honestly don't know, like, how, if there's a bigger version of these chilies. Because getting the little seeds out of these things, not fun.
Is that something the kids can do?
Ooh, kids with chili?
Why not?
I mean, I'm sure. But I just feel like there's got, like, I wonder if there's bigger version peppers in these little things. Or if I'm adding too many. Just patience, right? That's what Gary Vee would say.
So, yeah. Plus, you can't go out and get this at a fast food place.
No, and I did see that, like, one thing I thought was cool is you could freeze this, so you could make a bigger batch, and you could freeze it for up to, like, 3 months. So it's cool. So, like, you know, you make a big batch, you put in the legwork, but then when you want it, like, you have reserve in the freezer or something. So I like the idea of that. Like, I'm feeling some. Just turning that down. So while you're getting the deseeding of your chilies, you want to make sure that you're boiling your water as well. All right, we're going to throw all of these chilies into boiling water, then reduce it to low heat for about 10 minutes. And I really, like I said, I love chorizo. That was my go-to jam. And so this is, there is good already. I picked up chorizo that was made or pre-done, like plant-based style. It's just that you're really gonna spend like a good amount for a product like that.
True.
This is somebody else making it like I'm doing, probably, you know. So you're gonna pay for a product like that. Almost there.
So could you eliminate
I think like
these peppers, or do something even if you didn't want to do these ones?
Yeah, I think, it's so great question. Like, if you didn't want to do all these peppers, I think that you could definitely use, there's got to be some that are already like, I was just thinking like a pack of spices that I typically use for veggies and stuff would be a good alternative to save time. But I'm going to be adding a bunch of spices too. So I don't think I've seen quicker versions of the chorizo and eggs. I don't want to cheat this because I want to really try. I really want to see if this is going to be good or not. I don't want to like skimp out on it. So I'm just going to throw these in here. Obviously I forgot, I didn't get all the seeds, but good enough. And I'm going to reduce the heat to low, 10 minutes. Okay, so while we're waiting for that 10 minutes, there's definitely other things that need to get going. All right, so I'm going to start preparing the potatoes. You can get any type of potatoes that you want. You can do sweet potatoes. I just have standard yellow potatoes here, and some red potatoes that I had. So I kind of mixed it up. I'm going to get my heat going a little bit. If you have a little bit of olive oil, you can throw that into the pan. I don't have olive. Whoa, that. I feel like those peppers got to me. I don't have olive oil, so I'm going to use a little bit of coconut oil. And I really like coconut oil. Now listen, you still don't want to just, coconut oil, you just still don't want to like load your pan up with coconut oil, because you still want to minimize on the amount of oil you use. All right, so that's going. Where's my knife? So for this part, I'm really going to dice up my potatoes smaller than I normally do, all right? I just want really, so about that's the consistency that I'm looking for. And you'll notice that there's a lot of water in these as well, just like the tofu. And I might drain a little bit of this water with napkins, just because I want to get a more crispy finish with these. And so something that helps with that is removing the excess water. And this is one of those things, you guys, that can be a great meal for really any time. This is a great breakfast. This is a great dinner that you don't have to make into tacos for breakfast. You can throw it on just the potatoes and chorizo. We keep dropping potatoes.
Ooh, view up here now.
Is it? but it's not easy to hold.
I don't know if I get it mounted.
I'm gonna just, I want to drain those potatoes a little bit. Or, you know, kind of get the... Whoa, like, those peppers definitely, like they have a strong... It's hard to explain. I don't know if you're getting it. Like, they're kind of hitting my throat. I think that's them. So I'm just gonna like start to drain the, I'm just gonna throw it on a napkin just so I can drain it a little bit. And this is just the in-between prep time of waiting for those peppers to soften up. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, I did read that there was easier mimics, but this was the closest to chorizo. Oh, excuse me. So my goal is to really get these potatoes done. Like I don't know. No rushing, obviously, cutting, but my goal is to get these potatoes done before that timer goes off. It's like a Metcon or something. I mean, let's be honest, I don't want to be cooking all day either, right?
True.
I think the biggest thing is too, like, people just need to understand, like, when things need to go down in the kitchen. It saves a lot of time. You know, if you didn't have a game strategy right now, it's like, oh, well. So the biggest thing I notice that people complain about is the prep time. Whoa. Do not stand over that. Okay, so I got that done. I'm going to throw a paper towel right on top of it as well. All right, take a breather. No, just kidding. Now, since I think I kind of like, people are getting the feel for this. Don't need to, but I'm also going to add onion to my potatoes, as well as a little bit of, oh, you know what? I just thought of a good thing to help get those potatoes draining. So something that will really help get the potatoes even more draining is just to throw a little bit of salt on them. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. Not a ton, but now I don't have to salt them. Good. Okay. I'm going to dice this onion. I'm using a whole medium to large yellow onion. Actually, this is more of a sweet white onion. Excuse me, should have covered my mouth. It's just my family though. But like, I'm not hiring her. Just coughed all over the food. Okay. Okay, so the only other thing I'm gonna have to cut today is the mushrooms, which it's not that bad. So I have a lot of potatoes here. You do not need, you need about 6 medium to large potatoes. If you want more potatoes, I like to have some leftovers. I never know who's going to eat, who's not going to eat, but I know no matter what, I'm going to dig this. So I wanted to have, hopefully, some leftovers. My pot's not going to be big enough, so I'm going to do this in 2 sessions with the potatoes, which is fine. I don't mind as I continue. So I'm just going to throw the potatoes on here. I don't want to put too many potatoes in the pan because if I do, then they won't get cooked all the way. That should be good. So I'm going to throw half the onion on here just because I'm splitting my potatoes in half. And I'll save the rest for them. I am going to use a little bit of fresh garlic as well. I'm going to need all of this garlic actually, so you want 1 head of garlic. And when I say all of it, I'm going to use a lot of it. It's the tethers, right?
Yeah.
It's like they get you somehow. They just up and get ya. Like there's other time savers out there. You could get already peeled garlic. You guys, I had a really hard workout. Sorry. I was thinking about my legs. You know why I bought that tapatio? Because the ingredients are like just so much better than the sriracha.
Dude, I told you, Tapatio, that was my jam. Back in, they had it at the academy.
And it's like cheaper, yeah. I just haven't seen it. Who had it? Walmart.
Or I thought we had, Walmart or Target.
Yeah, Walmart. Like, not that many people sell it. Or I have a hard time finding it. I'm gonna... Okay. So now now I have to grab these chilies and strain. I'm gonna strain them. Let me get a strainer. You want to make sure you reserve the chili water because you may need it. Wow. That is some strong aromas coming up here. I don't know if Pete, if you're smelling that, but it actually smells amazing. But definitely, gosh, it smells amazing. It reminds me of very authentic food. Okay, I'm gonna put the chilies back in there, and I'm gonna reserve it. I'm just gonna keep the water in there.
Oh, yeah.
What?
You can smell it.
It smells like... Okay. Okay. We're going to put all of these chilies into our food processor or blender. You're going to need 4 cloves of garlic, which I already have. 4 cloves. Then you're going to add your spices, all right? So, I need 1 tablespoon of oregano. 1 tablespoon of that. Sorry, I don't want those to get burned. Okay. You need, ooh, I need a teaspoon. Okay. 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. One-half teaspoon of the cumin. One tablespoon of the paprika, or one tablespoon of the paprika. Well, that's a lot. I have smoked paprika. If you have regular, that's fine. One-half teaspoon of the, what is this, coriander?
Sounds good.
So I used the cumin, I used all of this. And 1/4 cup of the apple cider vinegar. If you need to get your blender started, you're going to use 1/4 cup of the reserve from what we used, the reserve chilies. Oh my gosh, that's phenomenal. Wow. The flavors are just like incredible. It's incredible. It smells so good. And wow, I'm really excited how that turned out. I didn't have to use any extra reserve from my chili juices, right? So I like the consistency of how that looks so far. Now, if you need to get your blender started, or I recommend a food processor and it's just not mixing well, add a little bit of that reserve into it. You probably won't need 1/4 of a cup, but you're gonna have to do it accordingly to like how much moisture was into your chilies and so forth. All right, so I'm gonna continue to cook my potatoes. I think for this next batch, I'm gonna add the onion in a little bit later because I just don't want them. We'll see. That got really hot quickly. All right, so this next step, you guys, we're gonna go back to our tofu, all right? It's been about 30 minutes, I would say. And you're just gonna crumble this, all right? Like crumble with your hands. You can grab a fork. I'm just going to use my hands for this process. There is still a little bit of, this still has moisture, but not nearly as much as when it started off, all right? All right. I had a little bit of tofu left over the other day and I just wanted to use it, so I'm going to put it in there. You don't have to show that. All right. Okay, so the next step is remove that. Oh, I wonder if I could have blended it a little more. Oh. Whatever. Okay. Ooh. You're going to use about 1/2 of this, all right? 1/2 is going to go into the tofu. You're going to mix it all around. And just let it sit. So I noticed that with my chili, I could have blended it a little bit more, but I'm kind of cool with the bigger chunks of chili in there. So, but I could have just pureed the chili a little bit more, a little bit longer, or maybe added that liquid reserve in it. Make sure you continue to stir your potatoes. All right. Okay, so for this next step, I'm going to put that aside. You're going to preheat your saucepan. Mine's getting heated already to about medium heat. From there, you're going to have about a 1/2 pound of mushroom. I've already chopped off this part of the stem, and mine are washed because mushrooms can be really dirty. It's approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10 to 11 mushrooms, all right? You want these diced but recommended that you actually cut them yourself. You don't use your food processor. So we're just going to cut these super finely. So this is going to take just this extra. I'm going to cut these very finely. I was wondering how I could get away with so you're gonna have to cook the tofu and the mushroom separately and then combine them into a big bowl. I was trying to think like how I could get away with cooking it all together. But here's the reason why you don't want to is because you want that mushroom, you want it to get kind of like a harder consistency, more of like a crusty type of consistency. So if you put too much in your saucepan, it won't cook the way that we need it to cook. So that's why you got to do a couple steps. Okay, this is feeling kind of hot, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my tofu on it in a second. I'm going to give it one more second to heat up, just a little more. All right, I'm going to throw my tofu on there. Make sure that it's evenly spread out in the pan so it gets nice and crisp. The smells are incredible. The mushrooms I knew would be a little bit of a process since cutting it by hand. But not too bad. Okay, I'm running out of room on this cutting board. You might want a bigger cutting board than this little one I have. Okay, so Potatoes are at a good consistency. I'm going to put my second batch of potatoes on. I'm going to just put them in a bowl for now. And I can put them on just keeping warm heat. Okay. Ooh, that smells good. I'm not going to put as much oil this time. I'm going to save the onions a little bit. Nah, just put them on. It ripped anyways. Give me a sign. I don't know about you, but I'm super hungry. Okay, so I'm going to finish just cutting these up a little bit more finer. And then I'm going to put them in. I'm just going to use the same bowl that I already have the tofu in. No point in making dirtier dishes. Okay. That's just my warmer for the potatoes. All right, so for this, we are just going to throw in the remaining part of our sauce. Oh, that's okay. Actually, I was supposed to do the sauce last and cook the mushroom. I don't think it'll matter. Darn it. I could just hurry up and grab it. I honestly don't think it's gonna matter. Fuck it. If it messes up, we know why. So that's ready. So everything just needs a second to finish cooking. I don't know what I need that reserve for, so I gotta wait. Gotta look that up. But this is really like the home stretch of everything, you know, so you don't really, I don't think I didn't need all that garlic. I don't mind it be a little crunchier, so we turn that up. Okay, let's see final steps. Oh, you were supposed to add 1/4 cup of liquid. I didn't. I never reserved the liquid. I think it would have been too liquidy.
Where are you supposed to add it?
In the blender. Just 1/4 cup, so it's just little, but you know, I didn't add it. We'll see if that makes a difference. I'm thinking, like, can that chili water be used for something else? A reserve liquid for something, you know. I'm sure it could. See, I think when I'm looking at this, like, I have a lot of little chilies, and I feel like I could have, like, blended that better. You know what I mean? So it's not so chunky.
On the chorizo?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be just finer.
Finer, yeah.
I think maybe chunkier is better.
It could.
Like for people, I think the chunkier is just more like filling.
No, it's just that with just the look of the. I didn't mean to switch that. So. Okay, now I'm going to just get this off. I'm going to throw that last. Heat up the pan real quick. Okay. The flavor smells so good.
What's in that pan right there that you're doing?
This one?
Yeah.
It's mushrooms with the sauce that we made with the chilies. You know how we're watching that one lady who does like raw, and she had all the beads on her hand?
Yeah.
She's too much. I like never she had a whole plate of like tomatoes or something. Like this is my lunch or dinner. I'm gonna eat all of this and a fruit, and I was like, who wants to eat? I could not feel entertained eating a whole plate of like tomatoes. You know, to each their own, but come on, like, if I told people they had to eat a whole plate of tomatoes, they're out. They'd be like, Ava, we're out.
Yeah, you gotta find I think you have to find what mixes well together, what goes together, and how to put it together. You know, to really bring out people's palates and what they.
I mean, I'm not saying like those tomatoes probably don't taste good, but nah.
So this is where, yeah, man, I like this idea better.
What?
So like, if I mount this or mount it higher, I can sit and then run the show from here. And like, if you're talking about certain things, or if you want, and then I can put it in there of saying like, this is how you do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that'd be better than just holding a camera.
Yeah, because I think now that I can, you know, like this is, now if I can cut view to use, you know, maybe a different view, that then would give the, you know, the perception of like an actual, like, okay, she's mixing the potatoes, right, and
Yeah.
so now if you put your logo, your email, you know, like this is Twitter.
adding the tofu.
Wow. So I could just highlight them and have it already like.
This is pretty much ready. Is it nice enough to sit outside or eat or no?
No, it's chilly.
Okay, I'm just eating.
So could you plate it? Where are you gonna plate it at?
I'm gonna plate it right here. That wasn't a good idea. That's why I need a real stove. My cilantro went that quick. I was like, how? This is Can you get a picture of just this right here? Actually, I can. But it's just a little dark because you're standing over me. No, keep going. No, it's still dark. There. I probably just need better light, I guess.
Yeah, the lighting isn't really great today.
No. Probably where the light was. Maybe I should give easy, moderate, and instead of time. I don't know. Nothing's hard, I guess. It's just time.
Well, I mean, I think you can go back and playbook this. I think that's what we have to do now.
What?
Like playbook it, say, you know, come up with different options, alternatives.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't think a lot of people they're gonna need an easier version, which I think there is an easier version. You know, it just won't taste like. It depends like how. So my goal is to get an easier version of this. You know, with spice like that. Like I said, the pre-made spices that. You know, I don't know if it's gonna bring out the same flavors or not. I have no idea, you know. So you gotta just, I don't know. You know, because my whole goal is I want to make things easier or bring or say, hey, food, because if you spend time on food, like, of course it's gonna taste good, or, you know, like, maybe not. Oops. I don't want that. Oh, I think these are going to be really spicy for the kids. I just had a little bit. So I have to watch out for that. Okay. Interesting. There we go. Well, I feel like that's going to be really spicy for the kids, but
You had it?
I mean, I just had a little, like, just of the. Let me take a picture. Oh. Okay.
Boom.
Let's enjoy. You still want these lights on?
We can.
I don't.
Are we done?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Finish it real quick, or?
No. Or I guess you can get me on camera taking a bite.
Yes, that.
See what these taste like. They're definitely good. They definitely have a nice kick to it. But the potatoes balance it out so it's not overly potent. So yeah, I really like these. And you don't have to have it in a taco, but it's easy to hold. The cilantro gives it a really nice touch. So if you have cilantro, make sure you put that in there. I'm happy with it. I like it a lot. It's good. It's very, it's really good. Okay, you try.
Boom. All right. This is it. Cilantro. This is the cilantro. Yeah, it's definitely that meaty flavor.
What?
Like a chunk, like a burrito.
I want to enjoy my last taco.
All right, lights off.